Hey there, I'm Rick, the founder and CEO of 150 Birds. Our subscription model provides the perfect solution for small businesses that are looking for a cost efficient and effective alternative to hiring a marketing manager. You get the full benefits of a marketing team without any of the overhead costs. And the best part, you can scale your team up or down as your needs change. Now, without further ado, I want to get right into it and start off with what's a conversion funnel? Because a lot of people get this process misconstrued. The truth is, it's a lot more than you think. The buyer journey starts off at the brand building phase. So, market research, right? The development of your buyer personas, understanding who you're selling to, the development of a competitor analysis to understand how to position your product or service and what differentiates itself from the industry landscape. And then moving on to the development of your design style guide, your brand guidelines, your messaging doc, understanding how to position that brand so that there's consistency with everything that we develop. And then moving on to the strategy, the annual marketing plan, where we take into account your objectives, your timelines, and your budget. Now, next up in the buyer journey, we have the first contact. So that's generally through an ad, whether it's a social ad, a search ad, or even a billboard, right? Or a TV ad. And then we move on to part of public relations, having other people write about you, really getting that social proof and so thought leadership, and having events where you cultivate a community, having social media presence where you're projecting the voice of your brand, and then having SEO juice that's increasing your organic discoverability. So when people are searching for products and services around the keywords that you appear on the organic search results. Now, next up, we have things like the development of your video assets, your audio assets, and even written content, right? Showing thought leadership and authority in this space. And then next up in the buyer journey, we have conversion, whether it's on your website or it's through an email. So really optimizing the call to actions, the visuals. And then next up in your onboarding, whether it's through the product in a tutorial or whether it's through hand-holding on your sales team. So we're decreasing churn rates and really optimizing for upsell opportunities, cross-sell opportunities. And if they're really happy with your service, these customers might even want to refer your brand to others. Now, what we often see is for a startup or a nonprofit will go get a grant, or a startup will raise some VC funding, and they'll pour it all on ads in an attempt to generate leads and grow revenue. But since the other components of the buyer journey are not optimized, what we see is this initial campaign will lead to a lot of reach and a lot of traffic, but because the assets are just not there, and it'll have little to none conversion. And if by chance there were any leads that did convert, that did make a purchase, you have high churn rate because the onboarding is simply not optimized. Now, what companies need to do is think long-term from the get-go. And by taking a holistic approach, you're really able to optimize every step of that buyer journey so that even after the conversion occurs, it creates opportunities to upsell, cross-sell, and they might even want to refer your product or service. This is really increasing the lifetime value of your customer through these quality interactions. Now, as we dug deeper into the root cause of the problem we were solving, what we saw was that the median for funnel conversion rates across the board was below average. And that goes for every industry. And what we saw was The root cause of this was the fragmentation as to how the marketing function is fulfilled, primarily amongst small businesses where you have multiple vendors, right? You're using a freelancer or an agency or a contractor for SEO, and then another one for content marketing, and another one for the development of your website and your ads, and then your onboarding. And so there's just a disconnect between these steps in your buyer journey, which has, as a result, a negative impact. Now, the truth is 70%, 73% of the time, someone engages with the first contact, whether it's through SEO or an ad, they're not ready to buy. So if you do nothing to nurture that relationship, by the time they're ready to make a purchase and convert, they're still not going to be ready to buy. Now, we've boiled this down to a science with our proprietary marketing calculator. What we've done is we've broken down the marketing function into all of these activities that have this indirect impact on your funnel conversion rates. And below here, you have 3 mock demand gen campaigns, whether it's email marketing or social media advertising or search advertising, and we've taken industry benchmarks of open and click-through rates. And whether your website is optimized or not, we're able to forecast your funnel conversion rates for any one of the campaigns that we're running. Now, to give you an idea of the 150 Birds framework on a high level, it's really broken down into 5 steps. And this showcases how we can launch new products or services in as little as 4 months, from market research to multiple demand generation channels. Now, to give you an idea of some of the customers we work with on the lower or smaller business end of the spectrum, you have Kailash Concepts, who has been in business for over a decade, a handful of employees, but not a single marketing hire. So where they partnered with us, we really became their marketing department, where we developed their multiple assets and ran experiments and launched multiple demand gen channels. And then we have, on the other end of the spectrum, a much larger corporation like Kaiser Permanente, where we fill gaps on their marketing team through specific channel expertise. Now, our pricing is really simple, and we do come with a 14-day free trial. You can cancel anytime, so we don't lock you in on any long-term contracts. It starts with a Pro 2-channel plan, and you can scale to 3 channels at any time. Now, the how it works part is also very simple. It starts off with an onboarding questionnaire that provides us more insight into your business, and then you go on to uploading all of your brand assets that you have so that we know what to build in your marketing plan. And then third, you schedule a kickoff call with an experienced strategist, a 150 Birds member, for us to get a better idea of your objectives, timeline, and your budget. And then based on these factors, we create the optimal marketing plan for you. And once that's green-lighted, we curate the team based on the specific needs of your company. And then we forecast your funnel conversion rates using our interactive marketing calculator. Well, it's really that simple, folks. If you're ready to start growing your revenue, schedule a free demo call today. And let's get you started with 150 Birds. Thank you. You have a good one.